we're going to talk about a video of Merrick Garland when he was testifying before Congress. And some of the things he said, just in my opinion, don't add up. So here's what they said. If the defendant does not have a significant managerial role in the trafficking of significant quantities of drugs, when this law was passed by Congress and signed by the president, the lawmaker said, if you have 400 grams of fentanyl, you should do 10 years in prison if you're convicted. That should be the minimum mandatory charge. Now, the Attorney General has added on to that additional facts that need to be proven. What does that do? That takes more time for an investigation because you have to actually uncover different facts to prove these additional allegations. A second one was the defendant does not have significant ties to a large-scale criminal organization or cartel or to a violent gang. Everyone that's trafficking in a minimum mandatory quantity of drugs has those associations, right? And I've heard you talk about bail in the past. In the federal system, these minimum mandatory cases are called presumptive cases, meaning that when you are charged with this minimum mandatory quantity of drugs, the presumption is you're a flight risk. The presumption is you're a danger to the community and you would be held without bail. The reason why they fashioned this law is because they came up with a quantity of drugs that they felt was significant enough that the presumption is if you get caught with this quantity of drugs, you have significant ties to a large-scale criminal organization. The presumption is that if you get caught with this large quantity of drugs, you have a significant managerial role or some level of responsibility in that criminal organization. And they did that to reduce the burden on law enforcement and on the judicial system and actually make it function more efficiently. That's why there are minimum mandatory sentences. They picked quantities of drugs that they said, if you're dealing in this quantity of drugs, it's a presumption that all these other boxes are checked and we're going to make the Justice Department work efficiently and smoothly, and you're going to get charged with this 10-year charge. The Attorney General said no more. He instructed prosecutors not to do that, and he wants them to only charge these minimum mandatory cases when these additional factors are proactively met. That makes the system less efficient. It takes more work. It takes more time. And in a time of such a drug crisis, I don't understand why we would do that.